Hello, this is Bart Sharp with Mary Magdalene France Tours. We are at the Cave de Canet, which is in southern France, near the small town of Perillos. Now, Perillos is also close to Chateau de Perillos. What makes this cave so special, Cave Le Comte, is that a Black Mary was found here and in the cave itself. So what that really tells you is that this cave was likely to be a place of worship for those who worshiped Mary Magdalene. And it's quite an impressive place to worship. And often the people who worship Mary Magdalene, it was a pretty secretive thing and discreet. And so maybe a cave was right for them to be in, but nevertheless they found this Black Madonna. And just as many of them are throughout Europe, nobody really knows exactly what they represent. Many people believe that it is Mary Magdalene. And if it's true that it is Mary Magdalene, then we must come to this point of view that the people who did worship the teachings of Mary Magdalene, but they worshiped Jesus and Christianity, but they really felt like Mary was the person that that taught them about the teachings of Jesus. The Cathars were basically Essenes, probably French people. The Essenes were, of course, those who were from Jerusalem, Jews, and likely they came with Mary Magdalene or they followed her to this area, southern France, and created their lives here. But the Cathars grew from these people, Essenes, French people, and they worshipped in various places. And of course, around the 2nd and 3rd century, somewhere in there, the Council of Nicaea happened, and in that council, they claimed that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Of course, when we look at this in a historical perspective, what that tells us is the church was not very crazy about claiming the divine feminine or the feminine power that Mary Magdalene represented. And so this was taking the divine feminine out of the picture, or that, and more in these terms in this time, was that maybe Jesus and Mary represented masculine and feminine, and that worship should be including both genders. And of course the Catholic Church at that time really was more focused about the masculine side and creating Jesus and religion in more of a masculine base. And I guess it was the time of the era as well, because it was the masculine was coming in astrologically as well. And of course history tells us how all of that turned out. So here we are in this cave that the Cathars likely worshipped in. And we're talking about a very long time ago. And that's what makes it so special. But also, because it's a cave, it has a certain mystique and power in it. And when you come here and meditate, it's really quite phenomenal. It feels like the power of a cave in France, in which I've been in several caves in France, and some of them are quite phenomenal. Just the energy there in general. And this is a wonderful meditation spot right here. And this one seems to have a really deep connection with something. To me, it feels like a presence of the Cathars. We don't really exactly know. But what we do know is that when you come in here and meditate in this cave, you are highly more likely to go into deep trance states and have mystical oriented experiences here. And that's one of the gifts of Cave Deccan. And I have just recently found this cave and including it on my friends' tours. Also a place where I just personally go and like to go meditate. It's really set in almost a desert-like setting. So you walk across these very dry, rocky lands, and it's pretty difficult to find. However, it's not impossible to find, and it's quite a wonderful experience. So this is Bart Sharp with Mary Magdalene France Tours in southern France today, wishing you a wonderful time and offering you the experience to meditate in some place quite phenomenal. Wish you the best.